All right, aloha, Tulsi-crats, Bernie-crats, free radicals of all shapes, sizes, colors, denominations, orientations. Aloha from sunny Florida. My name is Dave, and welcome back to The Radical Independent. Yep, that would be me, and it would be you if you're watching this channel. My tweet, which has gone somewhat viral for me, I don't get 484 likes on anything. 66 retweets. Why is it so controversial to suggest that Trump voters who are weary of his daily idiocy might be ready for a dignified, intelligent, sentence-completing candidate like Tulsi Gabbard? I should talk, right? I can't even read my own tweet. And now, I'm getting a lot of pushback. The Trumpers have found this tweet, and they're ripping it apart. And see, folks, it's not easy being independent, okay? I'm not trying to complain, but if I'm on the right, I can coexist with my right people. If I'm on the progressive, neo-progressive left, I can hang out with some of those, and we can complain and yell and scream and call for anarchy and burning stuff down, and everybody's like, yeah, that's the way we do it. I'm more with Gandhi and Jesus and Tulsi. Notice how I did that in that order, or you could do Jesus, Gandhi, Tulsi, however you want to do it. I didn't put Tulsi first. I don't think Tulsi would want to be ahead of Gandhi, or Martin Luther King, for that matter. Again, it isn't controversial. It's not way out of line to say to Trump voters, hey, there's this better candidate over here who might actually work on some of your problems. She might be catering to your economic interests. And, of course, you get the usual, well, she's a socialist. It's a non-starter. And this is why I tell my neo-progressive friends, or just progressive friends, you gotta ditch that word. And they say to me, no, we're gonna educate. We're gonna force this down everybody's throat. And I'm thinking to myself, in the old days, when I was kind of conservative, libertarian, whatever, I listened to a ton of talk radio. In my 20s and 30s, I listened to, it's a daily lineup. It starts in the morning. If you got a radio station near you, they might even have a conservative morning host who gets up at 5 a.m. I know they do here in Southwest Florida, 92.5. You can listen all day long. And there are truck drivers. There are homemakers. There are, whatever, people that are stuck somewhere who want to be entertained or want to hear controversial things said to them all day, or things that reinforce what they already believe. You can go from morning until night with conservative talk radio. Beck, Limbaugh, Hannity, Levin, and I'll tell you what, you use the word socialist and you'll say, well, that's their problem. They need to be educated. Look, I know the millennials and the people who are a tad younger in the audience here and wherever, those people have been conditioned to a point to think that socialism is okay. And two things. One, they've been educated poorly, because what most Green Party people and Democratic Socialists of America and all these groups, all they're advocating really is just a change or some adjustments to the way the free market works. It's still the free market. It's the free market with controls. So telling a Trump person all of that, and maybe in a shorter period of time, and being succinct about it, I just say, look, I don't think you understand what Tulsi is. And Tulsi doesn't run around, by the way, labeling herself, so I think that's another important part of this, and that irritates neo-progressives, that she doesn't wear a label. She actually went to a conference the other day called the No Labels Conference, and none of the other Democratic candidates for president went to that. Because Tulsi Gabbard wants to solve problems. Now, I've had a couple people say to me, well, she's really just a centrist then, Dave. She's a centrist. Because centrists are doing like kumbaya, let's all get together and solve problems. The thing is, Tulsi Gabbard, though, her problem solving really errs on the side of the working class. The forgotten man and a forgotten woman, the least of these in our country. I mean, when she went down to the border and saw what was happening with these kids being basically held captive. And by the way, for Trump supporters, this isn't just your guy. This was Obama who did this, and probably George W. Bush as well. Kids going in cages and so forth. This has been a problem. Anyway, Tulsi went down, and the look of horror on her face, knowing that this is what we're doing to kids down there. So call her what you want to call her. She's compassionate. She wants to solve problems. She knows that this is morally repugnant and it needs to end. Okay? And by the way, if you're a right-wing evangelical Christian, do you think holding kids is what Jesus would want? Seriously. I mean, I throw this out, what would Jesus do? Remember that? It was a big deal for a while. Now it's like, what would Trump do? It's just, they've changed the WW, was it, TJ, what would Trump, or TD, what would Trump do? It's pathetic. And, in God we trust is now in Trump we trust, and I've even seen t-shirts that say that. And people say, well, you're in a cult too because you're worshiping Tulsi Gabbard and she's got cultic fans. According to who? MSNBC? We're gonna go down that road again? People instinctively know that Tulsi Gabbard is... I've had conservatives say I don't support her policies, but I like her poise. I like the fact that she is standing up for herself and for the people who support her. And this is something that we haven't seen in a presidential candidate in a very long time. Now, I don't see how this tweet that I sent out doesn't make sense. It's because we've decided that we're not going to talk to each other. The neo-progs, especially the neo-libs, are not going to try to recruit anybody from Trump Nation. All right? They feel that all you need to do is rearrange where those vote totals come in. You can just let the Trump people do what they're going to do, get Joe Biden nominated, make sure he goes to Michigan and Wisconsin and wherever else that Pennsylvania. They're thinking Joe's a lock in Pennsylvania because, Scranton, Joe from Scranton, if we can just push him to the nomination, then we can change out the president and have pretty much the same unhinged financial markets. We can have Biden sitting down with all these warmongering generals, figuring out what they're going to do and how they're going to carve up the rest of the world, and how we're going to bring democracy to countries that don't want our democracy. They want their democracy. And even if they're a dictatorship, they still want to be left alone. See, there's a big difference between a Tulsi Gabbard and a Joe Biden. Oh, well, Tulsi defended Biden. Yeah, from a purely just like a human standpoint. Like all of these accusations. And I disagreed with the accusations, and some disagreed with her defending that. And I didn't, because I understand what Tulsi's all about. She looks for the best in people, all right? Now, you may say, well, he's a horrible man, and he's gotten people incarcerated, and he's helped instigate wars, so that's a non-starter. Okay? That's a non-starter. You can't have a dialogue with that person. And what does that mean? His supporters, the people that don't like what you're doing, they're going to dig in deeper. We're not going to be able to talk to each other, ever. This is just going to spiral and get worse and worse. And you're already seeing it. You can't have conversations with people. You can't put a statement like this out. And it was a little snarky with the sentence completing thing, because Donald Trump, has some issues. All right? He leaves consonants off. He forgets vowels. All right? He doesn't use prepositions. The other day he said Jill Stein is for environment. For environment. How about the environment, Donald? I mean, it's not that much effort to get out that extra word, but apparently we just want a president who runs the country like a business. Here's the problem with that, Trump supporters. Sounds good on paper, right? He's going to run the country like a business. Most businesses don't have any workplace democracy. The employees have very few rights in that situation. It's like a dictatorship. You're an at-will employee. These states, I used to live in Massachusetts, you're an at-will employee. If we don't like you, we can fire you for any reason or no reason at all. So that's how you want your country run? And I feel like all of these homeless people and immigrants that have come here, some of them fleeing stuff that we created as a country because we either put sanctions or we tried to install our guy into that country, and then there was war and civil war and chaos, and imagine moms and dads just gathering their kids up saying, we got to get out of here. We're going to go to America. They caused this problem anyway. We're just going to go there and hope for the best and try to have a better life for our kids. And people don't look at issues this way. It's too complicated for them. They just see enemy invaders coming to our country. We need to stop them. We need to put these kids in cages and get them, away from their parents and so forth. I mean, Tulsi Gabbard wants to reform the immigration system. She doesn't want to eliminate it, by the way, for you people that want to build walls and so forth. A wall isn't going to stop people from coming here. People are still going to find a way to get here if they really need to get here. You can't build a wall at the beach, people. All right? I'm just saying, there are ways for people to get here if they want to get here. So, all that to basically say that Trump voters could be ready to vote for Tulsi Gabbard if you can get Tulsi Gabbard to the general election. That's a big if, because the Democratic Party does not want to beat Trump with ideas. All they want to do is replace Trump. They want to put their tribal leader in power who will probably do a lot of the same things that Trump has done, but do some symbolic things that make the news media and the general population believe that, oh, he's so much nicer, so much more compassionate. And whoever that person is, whether it's Biden or Mayor Pete seems to be now the, again, the talk of the media. Mayor Pete's a scary dude because he's soft-spoken. He's a lot like Obama. He engenders compassion and sympathy and all of those things that many in our world want and need, but it's like coming from a false prophet. And all of that stuff is just designed to placate you. I mean, the dude he's like a deep state op. And if he becomes president, I guarantee you our wars will continue unabated and maybe more so. So you got to be careful what you wish for and hope for. Because as much as Donald Trump is a buffoon, Donald Trump does have some instincts that are anti-establishment. If you replace him with somebody who's completely in with the establishment, it's going to get worse. You think your Wall Street woes are going to get better? You think the wealth at Wall Street is going to decrease if you elect a Mayor Pete or Elizabeth Warren for that matter? I think Wall Street will be jumping for joy if a Mayor Pete gets elected. Whereas if you put Tulsi or Bernie in there, they're going to be worried a little bit. And all Tulsi and Bernie probably want to do is take just a little chunk out of their mega profits to take care of the least of these people among us. So, not a controversial tweet here, folks. It's a tweet that stands on its own. I do think Trump voters might be ready to make the switch to Tulsi Gabbard. The problem is, I don't think Tulsi Gabbard's party is going to allow her to get to the point where it's Trump against Tulsi. It would be awesome. There'd be so much hope and genuine optimism in the country if Tulsi were the nominee, because we know she's ready to serve on day one. She is ready to be in the Oval Office, and it's not about special interests or Wall Street or any of these other things that people keep bringing up. It's about us. It's about you and I. It's about looking at issues and doing what's right and doing what's best for the American people. All right, so I'm done with this video. I want to thank everybody for subscribing to the channel. Although, I've noticed YouTube, the subscription number has been kind of stuck. So I'm wondering if people are subscribing and it's not showing up. The channel, like I said, was pulling about double the revenue it is now. And quite honestly, fewer videos have been demonetized in the last few days. So I'm not sure why that's happening. It definitely has to do with, is this channel being recommended to people? But if you want to help me out, and there have been some really nice, generous people, you know who you are, over on PayPal. I'll put my PayPal email address in there, and you can do a one-time gift over there. Or you can be a patron. Go over to Patreon monthly. The little Patreon logo is located somewhere on the banner to the right on this page. I guess if you're looking at me, it's over there. Just click on that. Keep in mind, my Patreon is also part of my music channel, so you'll see posts about videos and rock bands and so forth. That's my other channel. That's actually my sustenance over there. This channel is a lot of work. It's a lot of talking and not as much viewing going on overall. But I appreciate those folks that come over here and then come back to Twitter and give me kind of like a cyber high five. So that makes pretty much my day. All right, I am done. Yes, Trump voters will vote for Tulsi Gabbard. Some of them. Enough of them where Tulsi Gabbard wins and wins easily. That's my prediction. I'm hoping that we get to the point where that prediction can actually take place, meaning that Tulsi is in the general election. That would be something special. All right. See you all soon. Thanks for watching.